Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 7 of Tailgate Talk. It's hard to believe, guys, that we're on Episode 7 already.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's like these weeks are flying by and everything. Had a lot of big stuff going on this past weekend, so got a lot to talk about, my friend. But first, I'd like to get started by mentioning the 12-year-old middle school boy at Greenville that passed away. I reckon that it was a medical condition or something like that. I'm not really sure that it was something to actually do with the
game.
Yeah, the game itself. It may have been. I'm just not real sure. But either way, we do want to send our condolences to the family, his classmates, and also his teammates, and let them know that they are in our thoughts and prayers.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure them parents are absolutely devastated. 12 years old, man.
Beautiful.
Just too early in life to be leaving.
Absolutely.
But we know that there's no respect of persons, and we can leave here at any time, and just sad to see that take place like that.
But you are in our prayers.
Yep, absolutely. Well, the big buzz around town is cheap shot that went on out there in Colorado a week or so ago, and so I put this on our should there be more consequences for a player than just a personal foul penalty? Like if you knock a kid out for 2 or 3 weeks, should they be more to it for the player that...
The way I kind of see it is at the end of the day, no matter, I know that was a dirty hit, whatever it was, that kid's just playing football. At the end of the day, he's playing football. That's his job. Deep ball on the sideline, he's starting at safety. They're in, cover 2 man. That's what it looked like to me. That's his job. You knock that ball out. And I mean, I don't know if he could have caught the ball. I don't know, I know he was out of bounds basically when he hit him, but at the end of the day, it's football. It's going to happen. You're going to get hit. It's how it works.
I really feel like it was intentional because to me it looked like he went around that guy to get to...
Oh, yeah. I mean, he definitely didn't not mean to hit him. I'll say that.
Well, I think, like back in the days when Appalachian Gate City played, and, what was you always told? You better keep your head on the swivel. If you're out there on the field, you better be protecting yourself.
Yeah. I
don't agree with doing anything more to them because I think they've done such a terrible job with the targeting already, I don't agree with a lot of the targeting calls. If 2 players go down, they're going to hit heads.
Even since I played football, it's got so soft. I seen a roughing the passer call a couple weeks ago in the NFL on Kirk Cousins, actually. Kirk Cousins got tackled, and the guy literally just tackled him like a, routine tackle. Didn't throw him down, didn't do nothing. And they threw the flag on it for roughing the passer. But the game just got so soft. You can't hit nobody no more. You can't. It's hard to be a defensive player nowadays. It really is. It's 100 times harder than it used to be.
Oh, yeah, absolutely it is. And, I know that I've heard some people saying that, should they be put out of the game until that player comes back?
I think that's ridiculous.
So,
like back in the day, watching football when I was a kid, you had these players like Sean Taylor, Brian Dawkins, like these safeties that, they had a reputation, for that's what they done. They absolutely laid the pipe. No matter what was happening, those dudes would kill you if you came across that middle. And they took that completely out of the game. Used to, that was a huge attribute. Like, if you watch football back in the day, people like Ronnie Lott or Ray Lewis or, these big time players, that was one of their best traits is that, if you caught a ball in the middle of the field and Ray Lewis is standing there, you better pray to whoever you're gonna pray to, because you're about to get your head took off. But I think it's ridiculous the way that the game's played nowadays. And I mean, I understand the helmet stuff. Let's get away from it. But I mean, man, there's people hitting people in the chest with their shoulders, and they're still getting targeting calls. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. It's really, I mean, kind of iffy. I mean, like, players don't know. I mean, if you get a big hit on somebody, I mean, and it's automatically going to review at that point.
And you see it all the time too. These players will get a big hit, come up, a linebacker, safety, whoever, get a big hit, and they're jumping up and down, fired up, and then 3 seconds later you see the flag come in. And I just think it's crazy.
Yeah, and they're leaving the game because of a big hit.
It's crazy.
And a lot of these quarterbacks, they'll be going down, and the guy coming in to tackle him, he's already going down low anyway.
Yeah,
I think it's ridiculous on some of these targeting calls.
I do too.
I mean, let's just give them flags, I mean, like, you don't want it's football. You don't want people to get hit.
It's almost exactly what a quarterback's position is.
Yeah,
it's a flag on them.
Crazy.
Next thing you know, they're going to be like in practice wearing red jerseys in games.
It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
All right, guys, on to the NFL here. We got a couple things on that. Sean had mentioned that Miami scored 70 points.
Yeah,
this weekend.
The fourth, I think, 70-point game in NFL history. The first 70-point game since 1966. First time a team scored 70 points since 1966. These are my Dolphins, so I really looked into it. Big Dolphins fan. They're the fourth team ever to score 10 touchdowns in a game, and that was it's the second most offensive yards from scrimmage in NFL history. They had 726 yards from scrimmage.
Wow.
And the only team to beat them were the 1951 Rams with 735 yards of offense.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, you talk about getting dominated. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what the Broncos just gave up. I mean, they just quit playing.
Oh, I was up too at that point, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
at that point, too.
Yeah, it was exciting as a Dolphins fan, though, to see that.
Yeah. Also, I had seen Mr. Thomas Jones had put out a thing about where he's going to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame in 2024.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And another local guy that's, went and done his thing and had a real good career. So we're happy to see this. I think it's definitely deserving. That's something that a lot of players that, even though they do deserve, does not usually get an opportunity to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And we'd like to say congratulations to Thomas Jones and on this induction. And looking forward to hopefully getting to watch this ceremony when it happens. Absolutely. And everything. Well, college football, boys.
The big old Colorado.
Big Colorado Buffs finally played some competition in the Oregon Ducks, and that score ended up being 42-6.
Well,
anybody got anything on that?
They've to this point they didn't really. I mean, they played TCU, which I don't think TCU is, even where they were ranked, they're not that good. Colorado State's definitely not that good, but just like Dion said, it was good old fashioned butt kicking.
Yeah,
that's how it happens.
Well, I think 3-0, the vibe is up, and it's deserving.
Yeah,
you're talking about a team that went
1-9 last year.
Yeah, that just or 1 and whatever it was, but. They jumped out to a 3-0 start. I mean, that's exceptional. And it probably over-exceeded expectations, for them. Dion's real good about bringing in the hype. But, I mean, I really feel like it's safe to say that they're was getting a little overrated because of, of the hype that Dion does bring. And, I don't feel like they're really a top 25 team. And, I mean, probably go 6-6 on the year.
Yeah.
But even if they do, that's not saying that they're a terrible football team. I mean, they've, done better than what they did last year.
And they got a big week next week, too, against
USC.
USC, yeah.
That is scoring some points, baby.
Oh, yeah.
That'll be a big game for them, too.
And I watch this Oregon team, and they've looked really impressive to me, putting up points and stuff. But I think the biggest thing that hurts Colorado is their defense. Man, they can't stop nobody. Even the big games they've been in, they've had to put up points. I mean, you can't just keep going out there putting up 50, 60 points to try to beat somebody every time. You got to be able to stop somebody.
Right.
I actually felt like Oregon was probably 3-4 touchdowns better in this game.
Yeah.
But I also didn't feel like that Colorado would be at 6 points.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I figured it'd be like a shootout. You know how none of these teams really play defense out there. So that was surprising to me.
If they don't play no defense, they've got a lot of high-scoring offenses they're going to have to face this year, and that's going to hurt bad.
Yep.
Well, the Pac-12, that's what they do. They outscore. That's practically what it is, just outscore your opponent.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one that makes a little bobble with the ball or something other, that's when you get a leg up on the other, usually. Florida State Clemson. Man, this game was an awesome game,
I didn't think they was going to make it out there.
It was an awesome game to watch. And I swear, Dabo Swinney gave this one away in overtime. I mean, you just hand the ball off on second down and get 9 hard yards running with Shipley.
Yeah.
And then it's 3rd and 1. You gotta, it's common sense. Give the ball to him again.
Yeah.
So I think he wasn't thinking first down. He was thinking catch him off guard and go ahead and score right here. And it bit him for a 1 yard loss.
Didn't work out for him.
He wanted to burn them, and it ended up biting him. But I tell you, I like the way Clemson showed up, especially after getting demolished by Duke like they did. But when it comes to big games, Clemson does show up. You can tell they've got some fire to them when it comes to these bigger ball games. And, but now Duke's really good, too, from what I've seen of them. But
yeah, they've been playing some good football now. They sure have. Mississippi 10, Bama 24.
Uncle Bob is in shambles.
I'd say he is tore up, but I'll just be honest with you, man. Bama's not out of this thing,
No.
and are they in a little bit of trouble? Yes.
No doubt.
I mean, but I think they're going to ride this guy.
Yeah. I wanted to say Milrow. They got to start this week.
Yep.
Played decent, I thought, but I don't know. They got to figure something out at quarterback. Like, I think it killed him sitting the week before against South Florida. They didn't even give him a chance to make anything happen, and they played the 2 other quarterbacks over him. And I think he's one of the best athletes on the field. When he is on the field. I mean, regardless if he makes bad throws, bad decisions, whatever, he's still the best athlete on the field. I think you got to give the kid a chance, but
it just seems like to me he's just a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just not consistent, but I mean at times he makes some plays and you're like, yeah, this is the man.
But I'll tell you what, he's got a daggum rocket launcher for a right arm.
Oh yeah,
he
does.
can daggum throw the football.
He gets that dialed in where he's consistent. And he's already very athletic.
Yeah, no doubt.
UCLA 7, Utah 14. Pretty low scoring
Good
game.
game, yeah. It was a good game. I didn't watch it, but
I didn't either.
I watched some highlights. It was a good game.
Ohio State 17, Notre Dame 14.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Literally, the play that Ohio State scores on to win the game, Notre Dame only has 9 or 10 men on the field.
Yep.
And the coach in the post game was like, we didn't want them to to try to run people on and get a penalty. And I was like, good Lord, you got to do something. You can't line up and run a play. You got to do something. You know? He said that they didn't have a timeout. They didn't want to take a penalty. And I was like, man, they're on like the 2-yard line. Like, it ain't going to hurt that bad, to get the penalty, I don't think. But, man, that's just terrible coaching. I mean, I don't get paid millions of dollars to coach, but, that's awful.
Yeah, right before that, though, I believe Notre Dame had them in a long down situation, and they went out there and played prevent and had 4 guys back there. And let that one guy run right in front of all 4 of them and make that catch, and it's like, that bites you, man. When you go out there and play at prevent, I think that bites a lot of teams.
Yeah.
You're just asking to lose the game when you go out there and play at prevent like that. But
if they got time for more than one play, you gotta do something different.
Yeah.
You can't give up. There's too many playmakers, especially somewhere like Ohio State's got all these huge playmakers. You can't give up this underneath stuff, because that underneath stuff turns into big games and big scores, and you can't give that stuff up.
I know what I'd have done when I was a couple men short. I'd have ran one out there and told him to get about 20 yards out there and ball down.
Fake the injury.
Yeah.
Fake the injury.
Yeah, fake the injury, buddy. You're hurt. You're going to pull a hamstring about 15 yards out there. OSU 35, Washington State 38.
Yeah.
Another good close game right there.
I'm trying to think. I thought I had something on this one, but I don't think I do.
It's a lot of good close games this week, man. It was pretty fun weekend to watch football.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. All right, week 5 college picks. First up, we got Florida, and I'm pretty sure it's at Kentucky.
at Kentucky,
I'll pick first. I got the Florida Gators. I hate the Florida Gators too.
You're not going to do I got the Gators and I got them big.
No, I'm not.
Because it worked last time, buddy.
I'm not good. That was just for Eric Todd. But, no, I think Florida is a good team. I think they're a lot better than how they played in week 1.
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think, that's a big win last week over Tennessee. And I don't see them losing to Kentucky.
I'm with you. I think I've got Florida in this game myself.
Yeah.
I'd want to go Kentucky, but because Kentucky, man, they've pulled off some big upsets against Florida at UK,
Yeah.
and it seems like Kentucky has their way when they're there in Kentucky. But I don't believe Florida's going to let up on them this time. I believe it'll be 27 Florida, 17 Kentucky.
Oh, 10
Score
point.
prediction too, huh?
All right, USC, Colorado. I got USC.
Yeah, I got USC too. But
I got them big too.
I could see Colorado turning around and putting up a better fight this week than they did against Oregon.
Absolutely.
I could see that. But I still got you. I think Caleb Williams he's an awesome player, a great quarterback. But yeah, USC's definitely got this game. But I could see Colorado putting up a lot better fight.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to hold Colorado just 6 points every week, but I got USC 45, Colorado 28.
That's kind of what I was thinking. That's a good score prediction.
So, you boys don't think that it's going to be a shutout, huh?
No.
Me either. I don't think USC's defense is as good as
I just know their
Oregon's.
quarterback's a daggum stud, son.
Oh yeah, they're talented. Georgia, Auburn.
Georgia. I got the Georgia Bulldogs. The way they played in the second half of the South Carolina game, if they play like that, they ain't a team that'll beat them. If they come out sloppy and if they play like they did in the first half of that South Carolina game, I'd pick against Georgia a lot. But the way they played in that second half, I think they'll beat Auburn pretty handedly.
They definitely look like two different teams.
Two different teams,
Absolutely.
100%.
You thought it was a different team suited up and come out that second half. I think Georgia's going to try to slow the game down and run the clock. I got Georgia 35, Auburn 13.
Ooh, yeah.
I like the score predictions.
Kansas, Texas.
Texas, big.
This one might be a little better than you think, though.
I got Texas big.
And it could be.
That's what
I think if it's close, Kansas could edge it in a
I don't
close one.
see it.
I don't believe it'd be
I don't
that
see it.
close.
But I do have Texas myself.
I think Texas is looking better every week. I mean, all around, offense, defense, that quarterback, he's something else.
Yeah.
Man, I just believe Texas will put 48 on Kansas, and Kansas, I got them at 27.
All right. Your LSU,
Let's go, baby.
Mississippi.
Woo.
I got the Tigers.
I
baby.
got the Tigers, baby. They rolled last week. Played
They're
really good.
looking. They're looking way
and
better.
that's like last year. They lost the first game to Florida State last year, and then
And
they
rolled.
they rolled after that. Beat Alabama toward the end of the year. I think they always do that. They always freak me out first week, and they'll lose like to some team that you don't think's near as good as them. But man, that quarterback Jaden Daniels, man, he looks really good. He's a special player. I think his release is so fast. Like I was talking to one of my friends, and we were talking about him, and my buddy actually said that his release reminds him of Aaron Rodgers, just like the way he gets the ball out so fast when he's in trouble. And like last week, Mississippi State sent it was like a 7 or 8 man blitz. He had nothing and still got the ball out for the first down. I mean, he's a really special player. They just need some help around him, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I think LSU, they got one of the best offensive-minded coaches there is. And that wasn't going to stay that way, the way they played against Florida State first game of the year. And they're really starting to roll now. And I got LSU 40, Mississippi State 10.
Woo! Putting some big score up
No,
right
that ain't
here.
Mississippi State, is it? That's Ole Miss.
It's Ole Miss,
Ole
yeah.
Miss, yeah.
I confused
South
Ole Miss.
Carolina, Tennessee.
Uh-oh.
I got Tennessee in this. I was building some suspense. I think Tennessee will beat them. But, I mean, I thought at the beginning of the year Spencer Rattler looked terrible. I was like, this guy's awful. And then, like you told me to go rewatch the game, and I went and rewatched the game, and he really didn't play that terrible, as bad as I thought when I was
His numbers
watching.
were really good.
And, I mean, he ain't bad. I just hate his attitude, but I got Tennessee in this one.
Yeah, on this, and I can see South Carolina showing up on this game, and but I'm still going to take Tennessee 34, South Carolina 21.
Well, boys, I'm just going to say this. Last week, Tennessee, in the first half, Joe Milton looked like a world beater.
Yeah.
And then he came out in the second half, and he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn.
That's what I said. One drive he looks like an NFL quarterback, and the next he looks like he's playing JV football.
And that's why I've got this one on my upset alert.
Oh.
And I'm taking South Carolina in this one right here.
Okay.
Notre Dame and Duke. This is a pretty big game.
This is a big game for Duke.
Duke's got to have it.
Yeah, they got. It's a must win for Duke. I hate must win. Yeah, I don't think. But
Well,
I think this game, if there is a must win game for Duke, it's this one. But I don't think Duke does it. I think they beat Clemson, and they're on that high, but it's the consistency. I think Duke does look good, but I don't think they'll beat Notre Dame. I got Notre Dame in this one.
it's the first time in the history that College Game Day is going to Duke, I believe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's their
Awesome.
first time getting to host that.
Well, we're talking about in football, though, right?
Yeah.
It's not basketball season.
Yeah, it is football.
On this one right here, I wasn't too impressed with Notre Dame against Ohio. And I've got Duke 36 over Notre Dame 30.
Okay.
Duke, Notre Dame's got to have this
Yeah.
because they're still opting out of being in a conference.
I feel like both teams really need this win.
Well, I mean, if Duke loses it, they still got the ACC championship, and if they can pull a win, if they can get there and then pull a win over, that, I mean, it still gives them an option. But they're going to have to just be one loss to do.
And I want to say, too, I don't have Notre Dame winning it huge. I just think they'll edge it out.
Yeah.
It'll be a close game.
Man, I'm going Notre Dame. I mean, this is a coin toss one for me.
Yeah.
Alabama, Mississippi State.
I got Alabama. The way that LSU beat them, I think a lot of people predicted LSU to be the best team in the West this year in the SEC, but I think Alabama's still right there. I mean, even if they're not playing great, but the way that LSU beat Mississippi State, I see Alabama for sure in this game.
I've definitely got Alabama over Mississippi State. I don't think it's going to be a pretty game or nothing like that. I'll take Alabama 28-10 over Mississippi State.
I got Alabama too, and I mean, the thing of it is, for the Alabama fans, they're going to win a bunch of games this year, and they're still liable to be there at the end of it and have a shot. It's not going to be as pretty as what they've been used to seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be nasty. You know, the offense just ain't what it has been in the years past. Defense is still pretty good, so they're going to ride Milrose out for the rest of this season, just with his athletic ability alone, and they're going to win a bunch of ball games. And this is definitely another one right here that they're going to win, and I'm going Alabama. Washington and Arizona.
Washington.
Big.
I will not pick against this kid, this quarterback, Michael, I don't know how to say his last name, Penix Jr., Michael Penix Jr. That dude's one of the best quarterbacks in college football. I will not pick against him. He is a stud. I love watching him play. And Washington is just beating people to death right now, too.
Yeah.
I got Washington big in this one.
This last stat thing I have on him is on the season right now, he's 103 completions out of 138 attempts for 1,636 yards. His completion percentage is 74.6, and his average is 11.9 with 16 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Yeah, his touchdown to interception ratio is awesome.
And I saw that one thing about him was that like 80% of his passes are for 20 yards or more, and he's still, running that high of a percentage on his completions, man, and that says a lot.
Yeah, he's a stud.
Yeah, I got Washington 50, Arizona 14.
Woo!
Also, something else about that quarterback. He's leading the NCAA, and he's number 1 in QBR this year so far.
Yeah, his QBR is like 98.
93.7.
I know it's in the 90s, man.
Yeah.
That's unreal.
Yeah, he's a stud. I like him a lot.
I do too. VHSL playoff format.
Yeah.
Just so people know that power points are based solely on a team's performance and the performance of the teams it has played. Each team's points are computed by taking the team's winning percentage and adding the winning percentage of the team it defeated and subtracting the losing percentage of each team to which it is lost. When there is a tie, the two teams involved either add or subtract the difference in the winning percentage of those two teams' points, and therefore rank cannot be final until the teams in the division have completed their schedules. So the way I'm taking this is it doesn't playing up don't help you none unless those teams are winning ball games.
Which is ridiculous.
And not, and that's what we were saying before. A lot of these teams that play down to get these easy wins on these teams, and then beat out a team that maybe their record may not be as good. They played a tougher schedule and beat them out in the playoffs. I just think they really need to look into this format, and maybe a few things needs to be changed.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, a great example, Science Hill Union. Yep. Even if Union wins that game, it don't matter because Science Hill ain't winning games right now.
They hadn't won any,
it's like it done no good. Even though they played, a college basically, they got the players like a college would have. It don't help them any.
Science Hill, they'll win one, lose one, win one, lose one. But I reckon they've got a change in quarterback now, and he's put up pretty good numbers.
He put up some big numbers last
week.
week. So maybe they found something that they've been missing.
Who knows?
you know, which I know some more that needs to find some stuff.
But yeah, that format's crazy because, I mean, say you're a double-A school and you schedule Rye Cove and Twin Springs, and you beat them two, and then they, you know them two's going to lose one game this year, if that. You know, Twin Springs we still yet to see. You know, they got Union coming up, but
I mean, right now you are going to get a lot of points off of them. Period.
But
because they're undefeated still.
It's just crazy to me. It don't make sense to me.
Yeah, it don't me either.
It is what it is.
I know it used to be on like you'd get so many points for whatever. You know, it depended on what classification the team was in.
Yeah. I know back when we played back in the early 90s there, we scheduled Southern North because they was a AAA school, and it did give you a lot more points to play a school like that. But the way this format is, it don't give you no incentive to go play a big school, you know.
Other than just like competition of it, you know. Just, I mean, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, you know, to help you get better for playoffs and stuff. I mean, I get it. All right, guys, week 5 review here. We got first up Gate City 0, Union 35. Who's going first?
You're the Gate City native. Maybe you should go first.
Well,
you know, we do got the resident Union Bears fan also. He can go first.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, you know, you blink your eyes, open them up, and you're down 20-0. I thought their defense played good outside of that, but there's no identity on offense, and they're going to have to find something on this offense.
Yeah.
And they're going to need to be finding it fast because now you find yourself down 2 games in the district, and you pretty much, you know, got to win out in this district from here on out.
Yeah.
You know, Tennessee High, you can win or lose that game. It ain't going to hurt you nothing nearly as bad. But the district, you've got to.
Yeah, they can't drop another one to have a shot at it.
Yep, you got to win it out now, and so you're going to have to be finding out what's going on in this offense and get it fixed quick. Because if not, you're going to find yourself on the bottom end of the winning record.
Yeah, I was down there at the game watching the game there, and I swear Union just went up quick 3 scores in the blink of an eye, like you said, and but at Union defense, I think they played good all night long, and you know, went into halftime there and had full control of the game, and then come back out, and I think it was 28-0 at half, and come back out, and man, I don't know what happened to Union. They hadn't played like that all year long, and they handed the ball over to Gate City about every time you turned around. I mean, they fumbled, 3-4 times in the second half.
I think altogether there's like 8 turnovers in the whole game with both of them together. So it was kind of trashy, really.
But I just felt like they just kept handing the ball to Gate City in that second half, and I believe them Gate City kids said, "We don't want it. Here, take it back." Because I mean that defense was coming all game long, and I think you got to give that defense credit for what they done. As many times we turned the ball over to Gate City there, and they still held them out of the end zone. And which Gate City was down there about 2 times, had 2 close chances to coming out with scores there, and they come up short. But I figured that Union Ball Club, after last year, I figured they was going to come out with some pretty good intentions to try to put some scores up on Gate City, because they know how Gate City come back on them twice when they thought they had it won there last year. At least I thought they had it won at halftime that first game last year, and Gate City just come out there and kept playing until they played themselves right back in that game.
That's something I've seen too from Gate City is, I've talked on here several times about how I think Gate City, no matter what happens in a game, is Gate City does not quit. Gate City never quits in a ball game, and this is the first time this season that it looked like to me Gate City started to give up. That Gate City didn't want no more of it. But I think, Union is just they're such a force right now. They're a dominating team. They can beat you in so many different ways. And I know I say it every single week that I watch the Union Bears play, but I'm telling you right now, I love watching Keith Chandler run the football. He literally dribbled a kid off the ground. On the same play that he hurt his knee, he dribbled a guy. But I love the way he runs the ball. My boy Gabe Hackney from Ridgeview, he runs the ball the same way. And I hate that he got hurt, but Keith Chandler kind of filled that hole for me. I love watching Gabe run. And now that these kids run the ball like he is, man, I'm telling you, he's a special player. And then you got Paul Huff, too, the huge punt return at the beginning of the game. Man,
that practically set the tone.
Yeah,
really.
Union just has so many special players that you have to look out for. Their quarterback can run the ball. Keith Chandler is a stud. If there's a kid that I've watched this year play football and I needed 4 yards, I'm taking Keith Chandler over anybody. That kid, he runs like a man possessed. And, I just think, which Gate City did make a lot of mistakes, but I'm not going to take nothing away from Union. I think Union's just a dominating team, and
absolutely,
man, that's what they do, man.
That's what happens. You make big mistakes like that against good teams.
Yeah, and I'll say this,
and that's good teams are going to pounce on you. Right. And that's exactly what Union did.
And I'm not trying to knock Gate
and they're
City.
Good in all 3 phases of the game. So,
but I'm not trying to knock Gate City. I'm just saying when you're down 28-0 coming out of halftime, it's probably not the time to start running the power football. You need to throw the football around, but I think their quarterback really struggled, which, the one interception he threw on the slant, the kid pretty well ducked the ball like he didn't want nothing to do with it. So, I don't know, man. Gate City, they got to figure something out. Coming off that big win against Middlesboro, and then you turn around and lose this.
The offense has struggled since then.
They just
I don't
stale.
know. And it's like each week it just keeps getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
And you mentioned that about Keith, him with that long run down the field there, and it looked like he planted his heel in the ground when he tried to stiff arm that kid, and he looked like he might have hyperextended his knee or something there. But my biggest thing was when Keith went out right before halftime, and I'm thinking, okay, now let's see who's the next guy up, who's going to take over this game, who's going to be. Who's going to be the man to go to when you need points without Keith out there?
Well, anybody else got anything on that? We got Lehigh 7, Ridgeview 42. Kind of went the way we expected. I just kind of thought Lehigh may have had a little bit better showing than that. But
I think Ridgeview, still the weak point of Ridgeview's team is their defense. I think, their offense is really clicking if they can find somebody else other than this Hayden Baker kid. I think you got to spread the ball out a little more, and you can't let teams key on him like Virginia High, I think, done a really good job of that. They knew where the ball was going when they were throwing the ball. It was going to that, and that kid's a threat. I'm not saying, but you got to find somebody else to get the ball to. I know Branson Honaker had a couple big catches in that.
Actually, did they not put him in the backfield a little more this game?
They ran him some in the Virginia High game, and they ran him quite a bit in this one.
I thought
he ran good. He did run the ball good, but he just carries the daggum ball like a loaf of bread. That drives me crazy. He don't secure the ball good, but. This is also his first time playing running back, too. So, he's used to playing receiver, so it's something different for him. But that kid is a headhunter on defense. I love watching him play defense, man. He gets the ball. But I think still the weak point of Ridgeview is their defense. And I think, you got Richlands coming up, and then you got the Union Bears. And is that at Union?
At Union.
Yeah. Ridgeview's going to have to figure some stuff out. And I know they're winning big and they're beating everybody, but, man, these Union Bears are rolling, and you really going to have to – that's going to be a gritty game for you. So.
Well, that game I think is going to be the first time that we really get to identify them.
Yeah.
And really see –
it's a real test.
To see exactly where they're at.
Yeah.
Because, they're gonna roll.
Yeah.
Again.
I know talking about this Ridgeview team, they ain't allowed hardly any points scored on them. Usually their defense needs some work, but they've held everybody pretty decent. Even though Aaron would say they ain't played nobody.
Well, I'm saying they ain't played nobody too.
But you know, I figured Lehigh, man. I figured they was rolling a little bit better after that Union loss, and I figured they was starting to figure things out. And I didn't think Lehigh would win this one, but I did figure Lehigh would put up more points.
Yeah.
I figured they'd roll a little bit better in this game, and Ridgeview just held them to 7 points. That's a pretty daggone good job by Ridgeview's defense there. My thing is you know, you talk about Richland's next and then Union, and I think that's going to be a big advantage for Union. Is they've been in some hard hitting games with Graham and especially Science Hill. I thought Science Hill brought it when they come down. You know, they was a gritty game right there, and if anything may affect Ridgeview, it may be that right there that they ain't been in one of them hard hitting gritty games, and you know, Union may catch him off guard, and it's like Aaron said, just a blink of an eye, you know, somebody gets up on you 21-0, and it's hard to come back.
Well,
from
that's
that.
what I was going to say. Like, I even thought the Gate City game was, you know, like I thought Union got up so quick that it really took the wind out of Gate City sails, but that defense was still playing greedy, hard football, you know. I mean, they wanted it for a little while after that, but and I agree with that. I don't think
when your offense is going 3 and out.
Yeah.
I mean,
and you know, Ridgeview wasn't that Virginia High game where that was really the first time we seen their offense kind of struggle a little bit. But you know, I think Union is a much better team than Virginia High, and that's why I kind of say. And you know, Ridgeview holds all these teams. You know, they ain't had many people score big on them, but at the same time, you know, they've played 3 1A teams, and you know they played Lehigh, and which I did think Lehigh would score a little bit more, but I still think that's the weak point of their team is their defense. But man, I love Ryan O'Quinn. That kid is a stud of a player. I love watching him play ball.
We're really fixing. I mean, like I said, we'll find out. I'm not saying Ridgeview's bad at all. By no means.
I mean, they're
saying,
undefeated, you know.
I'm not saying that by no means. I'm just saying I don't know where to put them right yet because they're unidentified right now. But, you know, when they play Union, then we're going to know, you know, where they're at. Abingdon 14, Tennessee High 28. Abingdon actually played this pretty tough.
Yeah,
you know.
I thought so.
It was a tie ball game at halftime, wasn't it?
I believe it was 14-14 or something like that.
Yeah.
So I picked Abingdon, but I guess I was wrong. I have faith in them.
They're gonna win some games.
Yeah.
Battle 15, Patrick Henry 49. Where in the world has John left? I mean,
man.
That's one team that I don't even think they know who they are.
I'll tell you what happened. They rolled that big boulder in there. Kermit said they're still looking for it, right?
Yeah,
they must drown while they're down there.
They might have.
Because something is bad wrong. Which Patrick Henry is rolling. I mean, they're beating the tar out of people. So
I think they're much improved since what we saw in the Jamboree.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I think John Battle, you know, they come out and they said they was tired of losing. Well, they got that one big win, and that was enough for them.
They said, well, we're good now.
They said that's the big one we wanted. And they just ain't come out and played since. But I'm like you. I think Patrick Henry's a really good team. I think they're improving, and I believe they'd be tough for anybody to beat.
East Side was off, so was Central this past week. That brings us to Rye Cove, 70. Castlewood, 0.
Yeah, I said this one would get dark, but I didn't think it would get that dark. that's
it was like it was like 56-0 at halftime.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, so Rye Cove is tuning it up and getting ready for this final stretch of their district here.
Yep.
Twin Springs played Cumberland Gap 55-16. Twin Springs rolled.
I love about Twin Springs, you know, like we talked. You actually said this that Aaron said this, that Twin Springs is, just beating the far out of people, but they're doing it under the radar because everybody's saying, oh, this Honeacre team, this Rye Cove team. And man, Twin Springs is really going to shock some people because they're flying so under the radar right now. You hear about Honeacre and Rye Cove so much, but I've not heard hardly nothing about this Twin Springs team, except for people from Twin Springs that know they're really good,
Yeah.
So it's going to be exciting, I think.
I'll be honest with you, the same exact thing happened last year.
Yeah.
They was like under the radar. Everybody was talking Ryco this.
Yeah.
Then they got there.
Twin Springs here to play ball.
Week number 10, Twin Springs went in there and got the W.
Twin Springs definitely putting up some points, but I don't know much about the teams that they're playing. What they look like or how good they are, but they definitely putting up some points against people.
Yep. Burton was off. So was Thomas Walker.
No one needed it again.
Yep.
Everybody was at the Union game, wasn't they?
Yeah.
That's what four schools.
Yeah, they were 4 of them off.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys, that rolls us into week number 6. And the first game we have here is Thomas Walker, and they're taking on Unaka. I believe Unaka is trying to get themselves into Virginia and into this Cumberland district because they've played just about every one of the Cumberland district teams right now.
Yeah.
They've played Twin Springs. I know Rye Cove played them in summer.
Yeah.
Or preseason. Now Thomas Walker's going to go play him. I got Thomas Walker in this one big.
Yeah, me too. I got Thomas Walker big.
Absolutely. You ain't going to see me go against Thomas Walker.
That's right, baby.
But you did take Unaka the last time.
That's Kermit's people, baby. That's Kermit's people.
I think it was Twin Springs that was going over and you took Unaka.
I did take Rye Cove over Thomas Walker. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Well, that was just a common sense pick.
Has Unaka put up any points on anybody
I
they
have no
played in
idea.
the country?
I ain't paid no mention.
I don't think so.
It's been bad.
Very few, if any.
Yeah.
Very few, if any. We got the East Side Spartans and the John I. Button Raiders.
Before we go on with that, does Unaka play John Battle?
That might be a tight game.
No, they don't. I think Unaka and Sean's Indians would be a good.
Probably, yeah, that might be a good matchup right there.
That would probably be a good matchup. They're all Castlewood could go over.
Yeah.
Unaka could probably beat Castlewood.
Maybe.
Bless their hearts, they're getting beat up pretty good.
In this Eastside Burton game, I want to say that Eastside wins big, but I swear I don't know the Eastside can play a game that ain't close. They want their fans out there just having heart attacks or something. But
Well, they're gonna give them a break on this.
I think Eastside should roll them, but the way Eastside plays their games, I could see it being 22-25 or something again. But I really do got Eastside big in this one. I don't think there's no way that they play a close game with Burton.
I got Eastside big too.
Yeah, I think the only way Eastside can make this a close game is by going kneeling in their own end zone a couple times.
And they might do it just to put the fans on the edge of the seat.
Get them.
But yeah, I take Eastside big over Burton.
I'd say there's fingernails everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
where they
no
bit
doubt.
their nails off and spit them out. Golly. Castlewood versus Northwood. This is the third Cumberland team that Northwood's faced.
Yeah.
And they're 0-2
Yeah.
against them, but this is where they get on the winning side of the Cumberland district, and they'll be 1-2 versus them teams, and they beat Castlewood.
Yeah, I got Northwood too. I think Castlewood's just, I don't know, man. They got to figure something out. But, really, Northwood has played like a decently tough schedule, I think. I mean, they've played Twin Springs, Rocco, East Montgomery. They played Twin Valley too, and I mean, Twin Valley's not very good. They played Chilhowie. Chilhowie's a good ball team, but I think they beat Castlewood pretty good in this one for sure.
Absolutely, Twin Springs and Rocco, them tough games. If they could beat them two, they'd be dominating the whole league right now. But I got Northwood big time, 21-7.
Ooh, big, huge score.
Yeah, I thought
Huge score.
you said big time. I'm
Big time,
thinking
I was like, man.
they're going to put 42 up here.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't surprise if they don't put 42 or more points up on this one. Next up, we got Rocco at Lehigh. And, boys, this one right here is, a tough pick for me. It really is. Because, I mean, you take it, you look at paper and school size and stuff. I mean, Lehigh should win this game. But I honestly think, and last year, it was kind of this same scenario. Felt like Rocco had the team that they could have compete with them, and it ended up not being that close.
Yeah.
But I honestly feel like this is the year that Rocco gets it done, and I think they're going to beat the Lehigh Generals.
Okay.
I know that single A, in a lot of people's minds, shouldn't be able to play with a double A school, but I know we were single A, and we'd go out there and put it on triple A schools.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I think Rocco's a better team, and Lehigh's let me down way too many times. I'm going to go Rocco 34, Lehigh 14.
Oh.
Honestly, I think the difference is normally why a double A team or a bigger team should have the advantages solely on numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of which now Rocco has a good roster out there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think that helps them this time,
I think I'm kind of like Kermit. Lehigh keeps letting me down. I thought when I watched them play Union, their offense moved the ball pretty good, and I was like, man, they could really compete with some teams. But I think Rocco's run game will be too much for them. Rocco runs the ball, and they do it really, really well. So I got Rocco.
All right. Twin Springs and Union. Who's going first?
I'll go first.
Go first, Sean.
Union by a bunch. I think Twin Springs is a really good team. But I don't. This is going to be a kind of a bold prediction. I don't see Union losing the game the rest of this year. I mean, really, I don't.
I agree with you.
I mean, playoffs, everything. I think Union is a great contender to be playing for a state championship this year.
Let's not.
Hey, son, I'm going there.
Let's not tighten the wheels up on the wagon that quick.
I'm going there. I think the Union. I think they got too much. I'm telling you. That's my opinion. That's what I think. I think the Union Bears got too much.
Sean.
They finally get over the hump. They beat Graham. I'm dead serious. I think the Union Bears are contenders this year for real.
I agree.
No doubt.
They're really good, and
I'm not saying they win state. I'm just saying I don't see them losing a game until they go play, some of these teams from the West or the East Coast, whatever, in the playoffs. They might drop one of those games, but I don't see them losing a game the rest of this year.
I agree with you. As far as in the regular season goes, then we'll talk about it when the playoffs comes around. But Union, like I've said before, I feel like they've had several opportunities here the last few years that they could have been state champions, and I'll be honest with you, if they don't get it this year, they're gonna miss a big opportunity.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty dang good, man.
Hard.
They really are. I just feel like Twin Springs is gonna be way outmatched in this game, and I got the Union Bears in this one too.
To me, that Union defense is so solid because it's got a lot of kids back on that defense that was there last year. They've got, 5 redshirt seniors on that side of the ball. Got another senior over there. He's not a redshirt, but. And then they got that little Carlos, which he ain't little. He's Rayshawn Keyshawn's little brother, but he's bigger than both of them.
Yeah.
And number 11, and man, he's really starting to come alive. You know, he's really starting to turn it on. And you see a young guy stepping up and playing like that, that gives you a lot of confidence. You know, now that Union defense is tough, and but I'm going to take Union over Twin Springs. I'm going to call it 36-14.
What?
Yeah.
I really feel like he's going to go with the Titans this time, Kurt. I mean, really, I do.
I mean, I believe Twin Springs got an explosive offense. I don't believe you're going to keep them off the board the whole game. I believe late in the game they may get some scores on there. They may hit you for a quick one early in the game, but
That's a partial pick right there, son.
yeah, but
All right, Gate City at Tennessee High. I got Tennessee High in this one.
what?
Oh, no way.
I do.
Ain't no way.
Gate City's going to have to show me they got some offense. And then until they do, they've won 3 games right now.
Yeah.
Until they show me they got offense, they're liable to be 3-7. No, they'll beat John Battle. Should.
I feel honestly the same way. I got Tennessee High in this one too. Just like you said, I think Gate City's defense is decent. You know, I don't think they're bad, but I think, man, their offense just really struggles, and that kills me because they didn't look like that, you know, a few weeks ago. Their offense, even in that Avenue game when they were down at the end of the game, that number 10 that they had run the ball, that kid was grinding. I loved watching him run the ball. But, man, it's just like they just ain't clicking right now. And that's why I got Tennessee High.
They got to identify themselves on offense.
Well, I'd agree with you. I'll take Tennessee High at 28, Gate City 14.
Ridgeview, Richlands. I got Ridgeview big.
I got Ridgeview by a bunch.
This is probably one of the worst teams that Richlands had in a long time.
Yeah, they're down bad this year.
Absolutely. I'll take Ridgeview 42, Richland 7.
I like the score.
I do too. That's respectable. That's pretty much how Ridgeview's rolled all year. John Battle at Lebanon.
I got the Pioneers.
Is that quarterback back or not?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I think Lebanon will beat John Battle whether he is or not. I mean, just like Kermit said, they were like, we're tired of losing. They beat Abingdon, and then they're like, all right, back to our old ways, baby. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird to me, but I got Lebanon. I think for sure they'll beat John Battle.
I think Lebanon has to have. They have to have that quarterback back. I don't know. What you got, Kermit?
Me? Well, I hate to say it. They've been letting me down, but I'm going to take Battle 28, Lebanon 14.
Hey, there it is.
Man, I should have let you go first because I actually was going to go with John Battle in this game myself.
I believe they're tired of losing again. I believe it's about time for another win.
Well, next up we got Y Central and Abingdon, and boys, I'm sorry, but Sean he's done let you Indians go and everything. He's got off the bandwagon on these Central guys.
Yeah, I sure have.
The wheels fell off a long time ago.
It happened quick too.
Did it hurt?
No, it didn't bother me. I mean,
Do you have a cushion pack?
I mean, I've been hating Central for years, you know, like since I was in high school, and then I was like, man, they look pretty good, but we obviously see what John I. Burton and all them people they were playing, except for Patrick Henry, they look good, but
They do look good.
you know, we
now.
see the comp they were playing. I guess that's why they look so good. So, saying that, I got the Abingdon Falcons, and I got them big. Okay,
How big you got 'em?
I got them big. I got them 48-6.
You giving them 6?
He just had to outdo me.
Okay, then let's hear what you got.
I got them Aberdeen running all over Wise. I've got them 40-7.
Oh.
I'm going Aberdeen 52.
Oh.
Central 6. I'll give them that 6. Too.
Okay. Okay.
I'll give them that 6. Too.
One up to Sean.
Yep, he did.
Well,
Got you good.
I had to because I couldn't let him skip out that one. You know what I'm saying? But guys, this is a very pivotal weeks. After this, right here, everybody should be just about out of their non-conference stuff.
Yeah.
And some of them probably are already because I know Ridgeview's playing Richland, so that'll probably be their last
It is, I'm pretty
non-conference game. I'm pretty sure Tennessee High is Gate City's. So from here on out, it's going to be conferences, and we should be seeing a playoff picture really, really good here in a few weeks, and everything. And
A lot of big stuff's going to have to happen for a lot of teams getting ready for these playoffs.
Yep.
I'm excited for it.
Yep. And then we'll see about the Union Bears at that point.
We're getting into some foul ball, baby.
I'm standing back, though.
I want you to.
Y'all think I won't turn back? I
don't think you're wrong,
I don't.
but I just think it's a far picture right now.
And the only reason I said Union only scored 36 against Twin Springs, I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of Keith Chandler this week.
Yeah.
You know, he may get out there and play a little bit, but I don't think they're going to leave him out there for a long time.
I'd save him for that Ridgeview game if I was them, for sure.
So if they get the lead and get the control of that game, and which I'm excited for Twin Springs, I know they're going to be pumped.
But I talked to somebody from Twin Springs in our comments this week, and I said that's really what I think about it. I told him, I said, it's a win-win for Twin Springs.
Absolutely.
It don't matter if you lose by 50 or, if you lose by 3. It's a win-win for that team to play a big dominant team like Union has been this year. It's huge for Twin Springs for their confidence. Even if you get, hammered, it's still huge for them because, you're playing way up from what you should be. And if you can hang in there, man, shoot.
And I just hope they have a big crowd come out because
they will.
Yeah,
they ought to be excited.
It's going to be a real big crowd.
I'm excited for them. I just hope they don't upset Union.
Well, as long as the Union don't go in there overlooking them, we've seen how that's happened to a few teams before, and anything's possible. But you got to go in there and just take care of business like you're playing Science Hill again, or Graham or whoever.
Prove that.
And I think Union will have their head on right. I really do. I know their coaching staff's going to preach it to them, that if you take them lightly, this is a team that can bite you, and I think they'll be ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Anybody got anything else?
I don't think so.
All right, guys. That's it for this episode, and we want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing to everything. And our views is up, our page likes is up, and we appreciate every one of you for interacting with us and everything. And if you get a chance, tell somebody about Tailgate Talk if you're enjoying the show. Let them know, like I said, we're just a few guys here that just love talking sports, and we don't work, like I said, we're not no professionals. We just out here having a good time talking about this stuff and everything.
And thank you guys for commenting. We've had a ton of comments this week. That's awesome. I love getting other people's opinion, from the outside looking in.
Absolutely.
Just like ours. It's not like our opinion means anything, we're just normal people, but I love engaging with people, and talking to everybody. So
the interaction is always good, and we love that. We appreciate it. And if nobody else has anything, guys, that's all we got. And we'll see y'all on the next Peace.